We've all consumed a lot of media in our lifetimes, from those songs our parents would put on the car radio, to that one forgettable movie that you turned on to help you sleep. Or, if you're a gamer, all of the video games you've played throughout your life. A lot of these pieces of media we look back on fondly, and will occasionally put on for some of that nostalgia dopamine. But, what about those pieces of content you watched maybe once or twice? Media that perhaps you did enjoy, but just completely forgot about. It exists in the space between your conscious and subconscious mind, like a bomb ready to explode when the slightest of triggers ignite it. I'm sure you've all experienced something like this. That one song, movie, obscure kids show that you completely forgot about, but once exposed to, created a wave of memories that washed over you. Now, what if you were reminded of such media, and when you went to go look for it, nothing. It was lost to you. You searched YouTube, Google, Bing, but it was lost. This is the exact predicament I found myself years ago. The media wasn't an old cartoon or video game. It was something a bit new for the time. Media I'm not sure was properly archived. And that is early viral marketing. And the object of my obsession was the 2006 Travelocity web campaign. Now, hold up. Travelocity? The travel agency website? The one with the lovable gnome mascot? Yes, that's the one. Now, I don't exactly remember what triggered it, but a few years ago, I had the urge to rewatch this forgotten series. But I couldn't remember the name or much about it besides small bits and pieces. Missing gnome, reporter, fat guy, YouTube and Google gave me nothing. It was like I was going crazy because no one seemed to remember or even reference it. I even went straight to the source and asked the official Travelocity Twitter page, but my prayers went unanswered. After several unfruitful hours, I gave up the search. An old article linking to a now defunct website was all I had proving its existence, and the urge to watch it slowly receded back into the space between my mind. Until now. If only I had an amazing story how after all these years I found this lost piece of media, but unfortunately, despite personal failed searches, these pieces of content existed quietly on Vimeo. But I'm still excited to share this old piece of internet history with you. But for those unfamiliar with the roaming gnome, a quick refresher. Travelocity is an online travel agency founded back in 1996. It's reported to be the first website that allowed customers to purchase their tickets completely online. Its branding reflecting more of the city aspect of its name, but in the early 2000s, Travelocity started their marketing campaign with the roaming gnome mascot that they still use today. They really went all out introducing this little guy, with several different ways to drum up attention, such as posting flyers around asking people if they've seen him, fake ads on websites, and even a pseudo-news report aired during the Rose Bowl, all leading people to where'smygnome.com. The site and gnome owner being Bill, who begged visitors to call or email him if they spotted his gnome. Eventually, he accepted that his gnome wasn't going to return home, and thanked everyone, as well as plugging in a coupon code for Travelocity. And now, unshackled from his lawn prison, the roaming gnome became the face of Travelocity for over 15 years now, producing multiple types of commercials such as The Denouncer of Travel Myths, where he
bust
common travel myths, such as disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, come on. You'd have to be an absolute goof to believe.
Or American appliances not working in Europe.
Oh, grow up. Ah! Am I going to die?
Which actually still get a laugh out of me. Or Travel Wish List, where the gnome would show exotic or foreign locations that you could presumably book on Travelocity. He was a cute and endearing mascot that the company seemed to have fun putting in silly situations. He was also well received by the public and drummed up a lot of free publicity via news channels.
It's one of the biggest celebrities we've ever had here at KITV4. Wow. Yes, the roaming gnome.
Travelocity's roaming gnome.
Travelocity's roaming gnome.
Watch out for gnome.
People really wanted him to visit their cities, as you could vote for where he should visit next, and actually meet him via a GPS locator on their website. These days, I don't think people would care about a company mascot like this. But, like every great icon, there comes a fall. And yes, while he's still used as the face of Travelocity today, his marketing power is nowhere near the levels it was back then. His only real notable appearances being on the Amazing Race reality show, being a reoccurring feature for the past 30 seasons. But even that has come to an end. As you can see, the Amazing Race subreddit appears to be sad that Travelocity wasn't going to be hosting the newest season. A lot of build-up, I know, but I wanted to paint a picture on how popular this mascot was at the time. Now, there was a Travelocity marketing campaign back in 2006 where the roaming gnome went missing. And in his absence was replaced by a large and bumbling man. This schmuck was now the new face of Travelocity, appearing in print ads, on their website, and even recreating some of the gnome's commercials. Viewers would refer to him as the substitute gnome. And what's this? A video of a reporter investigating the disappearance of said icon? And with Travelocity being silent on the matter, the mystery was set. Said video also pointed viewers to a new website, gnomewatch.com, where they can follow up with the story in real time, which sadly doesn't exist anymore, and very little of it is shown on the Wayback Machine. But apparently people could report sightings of the missing gnome, as well as post pictures. It was definitely an evolution from the Where's My Gnome website. This one focused more on community engagement. This was legit viral marketing. It drummed up a lot of engagement and eyes to Travelocity and their mascot. It was very well produced. I wasn't able to keep up with the story consistently, as the internet wasn't a common staple at my house. But it appears every week new clues and sightings were added to the website. There were even leaked interviews of the substitute mascot and a psychiatrist trying to analyze the mind of the gnome.
The gnome could be turning away from civilization as an unconscious rejection against the cement from which he's made.
Doing the best the guy can do.
It hurts. It hurts a lot.
Eventually the gnome was found, who was then interviewed by our reporter. This does kind of have the oh so random type vibes from those early 2000 days. But if you're in that mindset, this is totally up your alley.
Take a look at this.
Oh, look, that's me. Hello, me.
This was your first day of grade school, wasn't
You're
it?
trying to get me to cry, aren't you?
Yes, it really is you. You haven't changed a bit.
I will not cry. I
just feel this veil in front of you, and I feel like you could really break free and really just make a really big step in your life here. So let's just do this together, okay? I'm so innocent and small, and I need guidance. What can you tell me? What should I do?
You're scaring me, Mary.
The idea of a company pouring these many resources for such a silly concept was ridiculous. Of course, now I realize this was just basically an elaborate commercial, but at the time, I thought they were just doing this for fun. With the gnome found, there was still the question about the imposter. What would become of him? Would they even address it? If you kept up on Gnome Watch, you'd see that they did in fact, and that he wasn't going to give up the job without a fight. Viewers of the site could even vote for who they wanted to win, and as you can see, the substitute gnome got no love. Man, I really wish I could read the comments here. But after 3 rounds including a staring contest, a test of balance, and a breath-holding contest, the original gnome prevailed and reclaimed his rightful spot as the face of Travelocity once more. Dang, this poor guy. Talk about unwinnable odds. With the gnome's victory, GnomeWatch.com was then converted into his own personal travel blog, where he'd share all the neat places he'd visit. Visitors could comment and vote on what city he should go to next. Pretty typical stuff that you'd expect from maybe like a corporate Twitter these days. To my knowledge, Travelocity would never have another large viral marketing campaign like this. They would just stick with more standard gnome commercials. There's a video recapping the series from the ad agency that created the series, showcasing some of the success from the campaign, which is neat to see. I'm glad I was able to relive and share this obscure internet lore with all of you, and finally put this several year-long search to an end. Though, it does make you wonder, What other pieces of media lurk in the shadows of my mind, waiting for their moment to come out? And will they be easily accessible? Who knows? What about you? What's your last nostalgia-fueled search? I'd be curious to know what forgotten gem your brain is hiding.